Person Jr. What I'm going to tell you about my life story. And after I tell you my life story, I'm going to tell you 5 points that I have learned over time in order to be successful. I was born in Washington, D.C. When I was born in Washington, D.C., it was called Chocolate City. It's no longer Chocolate City now, right? Everybody looked like me and played in the streets, played football. At the age of 14, my dad decided to move us to Spotsylvania, Virginia, right between Richmond and Washington, D.C. Moved into an environment not only where people didn't know me, they didn't want me to be there. I integrated a school, got called names, had about this much room on the bus, right? But I learned a lot about life. I learned at that age that no matter how smart you are, no matter how tall you are, no matter what your nationality is, everybody wants the same thing. They want to be loved, they want to be respected, and they want to be successful. I don't care how much money you have, right? So I learned that at a very young age. My high school coach was the third most influential person in my life, Coach Sparks. So I played football, and then I also went to the Naval Academy, wanted to go to the Naval Academy, but my GPA was not high enough. So I went to a prep school to learn how to study. Entered the Naval Academy, played football at the Naval Academy. After the Naval Academy, I decided to go into the Marine Corps. I was a pilot in the Marine Corps, right? They told me in the Marine Corps when I was a pilot, the attrition rate is 66%. Only 1 of 3 of you are going to graduate from the time you start ground school, right? I matriculated through that, became a pilot in the Marine Corps. Did 5.5 years in the Marine Corps, traveled all over the world. And then I worked for Procter & Gamble for 7.5 years, Frito-Lay for 3.5 years, Colgate-Palmolive for 6 years. Started my own business in 2000, doing speaking, business consulting, executive coaching. But through all those arenas, I've learned some basic principles that apply in all of those arenas. Number 1, quitters never win, and winners never quit. I was in high school and in walks this, I was playing football for the first time in the 9th grade, never played tackle football before. My coach gives us a talk I'll never forget. He said, you got your pads today. If you don't want to play, tournament, no harm, no foul. But if you come back tomorrow, I need you to stay until the end of the season because quitters never win and winners never quit. He said, if you quit my football team, you might quit school. Quit school and get married, you might quit school. Have kids, you might quit your kids because once you quit the first time, it's easy to quit the next time. So I learned that lesson at a very young age. I was never going to quit. Second point, always take care of your people. Always take care of your people. In the Marine Corps, there's a tradition. When you go eat, the higher the rank, the later you eat. The lower the rank, the sooner you eat. That's symbolic of you always take care of your people. Then you say, okay, Carl, that works in the military. What about civilian world? Glad you asked. Let's assume that I'm a supervisor in a manufacturing plant. We make widgets. And first scenario, I'm a bad boss. I tell the person to do something. The person knows that if they do that, it's going to be bad product. They're going to do it, and when it comes back, they're going to throw me under the bus. Second scenario, I'm a good boss. I take care of my people. I do what I say I'm going to do. I make the same command, but the person says, look, Carl, you probably don't want to do that because of X, Y, and Z, because they want to keep me around. Always take care of your people. Third point, always tell the truth. Always tell the truth. When I was in the Marine Corps and I was a pilot, and I had a crew chief with me. I had to depend on that person to make sure that the oil level was sufficient. Otherwise, we would die and killed, right? In the military, civilian world, okay, I found out as I took over organizations, it took me about 6 months to gain credibility because my predecessors had lied and cheated and stole and all that kind of stuff, you know? So always tell the truth. Fourth principle, it's all about relationships. Nobody gets to where they are without relationships, right? 12 years ago, I was diagnosed with stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Not only was I sick, I was broke. Called on my brothers at the Naval Academy. They put a GoFundMe program together before GoFundMe was in existence, many of which I hadn't seen in 30 years. It's all about relationships. The last one is priorities. My priorities are faith, family, and friends. When times get tough, which I learned at the Naval Academy, you can't do everything, you got to prioritize. What's the number one thing? God's number one. What's number 2? Family's number 2. What's number 3? Others. I wrote 2 books. The first one called Sharp Leadership, Overcome Adversity, Lead with Authenticity. And these principles are in that book. The second book, Sharp Leadership, Parenting Principles for Rearing Young People, is about how do you make sure that your kids, when they're 18 years old, they can be healthy, happy, productive young people. Have a blessed day.